अगले वक्ता के रूप में हमारे पास नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय के ही एक शोध अध्येता हैं, मिस्टर हॉक। वो अपने विचार यहाँ पर प्रस्तुत करेंगे। चूँकि भारतीय संस्कृति, भारतीय सभ्यता के अध्येता केवल भारतवर्ष में ही नहीं, वरन हर जगह है। तो उसी संदर्भ में हॉक से हम निवेदन करते हैं कि वो अपने विचार व्यक्त करें। हॉक, आर यू लिसन मी?
Yeah.
Yeah, start.
Very good morning. Can you hear me all right? Tin pon thum karum nau mi saravasastra visaratam yan kripa le satas prapsta maya vicha titur lapha. Very good morning to all of you. Let me briefly introduce myself. And my name is Hok Ching Ki, and I'm from Cambodia. And right now I'm doing my master degree at Nalanda University. And this morning I'm very glad to be here to talk about the characteristic of Sanskrit in Khmer language. That is my own language. And I would like to tell you that this topic is my dissertation to fulfill my MA degree at Nalanda University. And I'm also doing my dissertations under the guidance of Dr. Pipin Kumar Cha. And right now, my presentation is divided into three parts. The first is the general introduction to Cambodia, that is my country. And the second, that is the interrelation between Sanskrit and Khmer language. And the last point, that is the characteristic of Sanskrit in Khmer language. So coming to the first point, I would like to introduce briefly about my country, that is Cambodia. And Cambodia also called Cambodia, the officially kingdom of Cambodia. That's one of the country in Southeast Asia. And Cambodian peoples are so-called Khmer. And Khmer language is also named Khmer. So Khmer can be both. It can refer to people and language. And Khmer language is one of the most important member among Khmer groups of the Austroasiatic family of language. And if we look at the Constitution of Cambodia, Chapter 1, Article 5, it stated that the official language and scripts are those in Khmer. And as you see, Khmer, it is in Austroasiatic family. And Sanskrit is the oldest language in Indo-European family. So these languages are not in the same family. It's different family. And why Sanskrit language influence into Khmer language? If we look at the history, Cambodian stone inscription played crucial roles as the evidence in the past. And those inscriptions are the main sources for the history of Cambodia. And the first inscription written in Sanskrit language found in Vokang, that can be assumed as the Funon inscription in 3rd century CE, due to analysis of writing alphabet order. And at that time, Sanskrit language was the official language used by the cabinet of the king. In addition, there Sanskrit inscription dated around 6th century CE, discovered in different places in my country. So how did Sanskrit come into Cambodia? I read a book in the title History of Cambodia, mentioned by David Chandler. He stated that India provided Cambodia with a writing system, a pantheon, metaphor poetry, Sanskrit language, a vocabulary of social hierarchy, Buddhism, and the idea of universal kingship, and a new way of looking at politics, sociology, architecture, iconography, and astronomy, and so on. He even stated that Indian influence in Cambodia was not imposed by colonization or by any force. So Indian troops never invaded Cambodia. Why Sanskrit have influence in Khmer language. Are the evidence so that there are more than 1,400 category of inscriptions were discovered dating from 6th century to 14th century AD, and those texts are composed in either Sanskrit or Old Khmer language or in both language. So this can be the reason why there are many vocabulary, there are many words borrowed from Sanskrit. And coming to the characteristic, that is my topic. I'm working out on it. The characteristic of Sanskrit in Khmer language. If when you all know in Sanskrit, when we use the nouns or adjective or pronoun, so we have to decline it. I mean, Sanskrit have vibhakti, have number, have gender. But when Khmer language borrow any loan word from Sanskrit, there is no case, there is no gender, there is no number in my language. So Khmer language has no gender, has no number, and has no case at all. We only borrow the vocabulary, we only borrow the words from Sanskrit. And the characteristic that I discover Sanskrit in my language is that any syllables, any words that end in a, that end in e, that end in u, so we have to drop the final vowel. For example, like gamma. Gamma, that is 2 syllables. So when it is used in Khmer language, we just pronounce only kam and kala, that means time. So when we use it in Khmer language, that's pronounced only 1 syllable, kal, pala, fruit. Fruit that also end in a. So when it is came into Khmer language, it's pronounced only 1 syllable, that is pal. But it also have the exception when the words end in a, even it is 2 syllables, but it skip the 2 syllables are the same from Sanskrit. For example, sala. Sala, it means that school in my language, it also pronounced the same, sala. And vicha, vicha means knowledge. So this comes to Cambodian language, it pronounced the same, vicha. So it skip the etymological words in Khmer language. And another exception is that any 2 syllable word that end in e, for example, nari. Nari, in Khmer language, it also pronounced niri. But because of the time, I cannot explain more about the assimilation of sound from Sanskrit in my language. And another point is that any 2 syllable and a half, for example, like kirti, that is fame. So it is 2.5 syllable. When it's coming to my language, it pronounce only k. It means that 2.5 syllable, but it's must be pronounced only 1 syllable only. And any Sanskrit loan words in my language that consists of 3 syllables. For example, jivita. Jivita. If we go through in the text in my language, Jivita, Janaka, that is also father, this word only pronounce 2 syllables. Jivita, that's pronounced Jivit, and Janaka, that's pronounced Jano. And Brahmana also, these are the 3 syllables, but when it's coming to Khmer, it's pronounced only two syllables. And the other thing is that when the Sanskrit come into my own language, my Khmer language, we also have samasa, that is the compound word. But if you are all a scholar in Sanskrit, there are many kinds of samasas, compound. But when we borrow, when we create the new words in the Khmer language, the samasa, it seems have no rule. We just combine the words like tura sabda, that is tura and sabda. So there is no name of samasa in Khmer language. And Tanagara, that is the bank, it's from Tana and Nagara. So it's kind of samasa also, but there is no rule, there is no regulation in my language at all. So if you see the characteristic of Sanskrit language, it's so then without Sanskrit, Khmer language cannot improve, cannot enrich our vocabulary, our words in day-to-day life. So that is the reasons that I'm doing my research when I'm doing my MA at Nalanda University. So it is very important. It is very important to know about the etymology in Sanskrit that spreads from India to other countries in Southeast Asia, especially in Cambodia, in other countries like Thailand, Laos. We also use the term from Sanskrit. So this is my topic. So to sum up, Khmer Sanskrit have borrowed many new words from Sanskrit. And as mentioned by the scholar, there are more than 70% loan word from Sanskrit in Khmer language. So those words, even we borrow, but we have to change the sound and the morphology into Khmer language. And Khmer language have no declension and case, and whereas the Sanskrit have everything when we use it in the sentence, and the structure also, if we look at the structure in Sanskrit, that is subjects, verbs, subject, object, verb. Yeah, but in my language, the structure is different. That is subject, verbs, object. So that's all for my presentation today. Thanks you
Thank you very
all.
much, Hawk. No doubt आपकी लैंग्वेज और बहुत विश्व की तमाम भाषाएं जो है भारतीय संस्कृत से या भारतीय नहीं कहा जा सकता है, वैश्विक संस्कृत से कैसे संबद्ध है, इस पर आपने प्रकाश डाला और इसी विषय को और ज्यादा विस्तारित करने के लिए मैं सादर आमंत्रित करती हूँ डॉक्टर बलराम